My podcast, the reason I call it Nimegrow is because I really want to voice out people's growth, and it can be like many ways: financial growth, educational growth. Like I talked to people last week about art and growing in art. So as in a personal perspective, do you feel like you've
Mhm.
grown, or can you say Nimegrow in terms of financial status?
Yes, I would definitely say Nimegrow confidently.
Awesome. And like, how have you grown, or why? What makes you say Nimegrow?
All right, so for one, I think let me just do a little bit of background from campus. In campus, I used to look out for opportunities or areas that would grow me extra income, and I used to do a lot of freelancing, that is writing, and I would earn a lot, not a lot of money. I would earn some good money for a student, but then how I used to spend that money, I
Yeah.
literally had nothing to show for. But I would be like, yeah, I have some money, but at the end of the month, I'm thinking, baby, what did I even do with that money? So for one aspect I've grown in on how I get to manage my finances personally. The second is I think after campus, I've been exposed to opportunities or platforms that have increased my knowledge in terms of exposure on where I can invest and how. And also, I've also grown financially in the sense that I know where my money goes. Like I can't every monthly income that I earn, I can for sure tell you this how that
Oh,
all that amount was. Yeah, so I've grown in those two aspects, being able to know where my finances go and being able to be exposed to venues or platforms that will help me grow my income. Yeah.
nice. That's actually good of you. I've gone to many financial these financial webinars and like meetups, and then you hear of like begin low, and then anza kulea kuku. You start with kuku mbili, and then kesho zitakuwa nne.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this kind of a story that goes on, or the one that they tell you keep 10 bob a day. By the end of the week, you have 70 bob. So in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so there's a whole fuss about some stories of making money and saving, and this can actually help you. So if you actually meet people, is this really genuine, or do you think this can work? So the traditional financial saving and wealth creation, do you think it still works in the current age, or we should not try that? What should you do?
All right. So a quick one. I just remembered a meme that was going around that says a person is really good at the poultry business, saying that they started the business with a feather. And
Uh,
yeah, so for sure I would say it works, but it's how you do it. The how matters. So like for instance, if you've been saving 10 bob per day, save 10 bob in that money bank, save 10 bob every day. It's
yeah.
the consistency that really matters. It may work or not, but it's the how you do it. So for me, I would say they actually work, but it's the consistency that makes the difference, because you could be doing all that, but then you're not being consistent. So the consistency and the end goal. Don't just save because people out here are saying save 10 bob daily and you make
Mhm.
cash. No,
Yeah.
have a goal to it. Say you're saving 10 bob every day. At the end of the 7 weeks, or at the end of the 1 year, this is how much you'll have made. And
Yeah.
out of that much you'll have made, this is how much goes into emergency fund, this is how much goes into investments, this is how much goes to your savings. So it's all about the how. Don't just do it because people do it because you have an end mind and objective. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true that you actually mentioned from above that somebody needs to have a budget to know this goes to what, like they can account. And that's one thing that I've learned from you, that people need to account for how much they're making and where it's actually going to. So what are some of the tips, some financial tips that you can give, and some of them that you've learned from experience?
All right, so the first one I would say, you can't start creating a solution to something that you're not fully aware. You have to first dig deeper into the situation, know the reality, and then know how to move forward. So for one, I would say start by knowing your net worth. And it's very few people actually think of how much they are worth. It's so easy for you to say Bill Gates is worth this much, Steve Jobs is worth this much, but you personally, how much what's your net worth? So for me, I would say start at that point. Get to write down what you are worth in terms of your assets, what you owe, what you owe others, what other people, and all that thing, so that you can be able to know where your financial state at current is. Then now from that, start this journey of managing your finances better. So the first tip would be getting to know your net worth. The second one is being able to track your expenses, and this reminds me of a tool that you use at Centonomy. It's an ABCs of, it's called the ABC of budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
So at this tool is the A bit stands for essentials. Those are the things that you need. For instance, you need your food, you need rent, you need water.
Yeah.
Depending on what religion you're in, you maybe need tithe. So those are the essentials, the things that once your rent comes, once your income or salary comes, you first dedicate the income to those things. Then secondly, we have the important. So A was essentials, B is important. Important is like you need to look good. So you need some good clothes, you need to go to the salon, you need to go to the barber and do your hair and beard. So that's important. Then C, we have others, or the rest. The rest is like the things that you use for luxury.
Mm-hmm.
So the luxury, like airtime, like Netflix, like all that. So start by creating a budget and be able to identify these three things: what is essential to you, what is important, and what falls under the rest. Yes. So once you do that, you'll be able to see how much you're making, how much you're left with after all these expenses. Then in that regard, have a spending tracker, and there are so many tools that are dispensable for free on Play Store. You can just Google budgeting a spending tracker and you'll see it.
Yeah.
So being able to track your expenses, if it's how you go somewhere and you're like, let me spoil myself. I'm not discouraging spoiling yourself. Please do. You deserve every good treat after every good work you've put into, but also include that in your budget. Know that if it's in August, I'm intending to do this thing, and because it will be successful, I need to treat myself. So if it's 5,000, you're like, I'll use 5,000 to just spoil myself. So include that in your budget. And the other tip would be knowing where your money goes. That actually is closely related to the budgeting bit. Don't just be, one thing for sure, you can be there for people, but you can't be there for anyone. Are you the kind of person that anyone from primary school or high school just calls you and they're like, yo, hi Joshua, how are you? So I'm broke, I'm in a fix, I need 500 shillings, and you're like, yeah, sure. For me, if you're not in my budget, if I did not plan for something if I didn't plan for you to, if I didn't plan you in my money for this month, then I'm sorry, you'll have to wait for next month. And I won't even compromise about it. So it's about being strict and being very key and aware where your money goes. If you've decided that 2,000 or this much goes to your parents every month, and you have someone else calling due from wherever, just tell them, you know what, next month, even if you have that money, because the moment you start compromising on what you have, trust me, you'll compromise the entire amount and then you'll be wondering what's happening, but it's you who's not being strict on it. Then the last tip is living below your means and being real with yourself. Yeah, so don't live above your means. Be real with yourself. If your friends are like, let's go to Kempinski, or let's go to, I'm not, I'm just giving Kempinski as an example. If you have a clique or a group of people who are maybe richer than you or have a better financial freedom than you, then just be real with yourself and know when to say yes and when to say no. And do not apologize for that. So if I know going out today will cost me 5,000 and I can only afford 500 for the night, then I won't do that. I'll just do whatever fits within my money. That is 500 bob. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Budget, ABCs of budgeting, living below your means, and knowing where your money goes, as well as having a spending tracker. Yeah.
Awesome. I think now we should switch and just name the episode like Financial 101, because the skills like those are like very, very nice points you've given. Have you had any challenges in money, like making money? I know the issues when pesa inapotea, unakuwa broke, or there's the scams that people tell you, oh, let's invest in this, and then you realize it's a scam, that money is gone. Have you had such experiences? Sorry. And what did you learn from them?
Yeah, so definitely I've had such experiences, such challenges. So for one is conning. I've been conned twice, I think, about 10,000 shillings. So what happened is I had a friend of mine. Maybe before I even make this point, guys, if you want to invest in a business or something, be in it yourself. Don't trust someone else to do it for you. So this friend of mine came and told me there's this, I think it's this, not referral, but it's like have you ever, do you remember public lights? I don't know if you
Yeah. I
interacted with
remember.
it.
Yes.
Yes, it's a similar, it was a similar-ish business. I was so ignorant that I didn't even want to know the details. I was just like, so if you invest this much, this is how much you get. I was just like, you know what, just have it.
Uh-huh.
So apparently, from that incident up to date, we've never spoken with that person because they went off on me. Yeah, so that is the first, I think that was the very first incident, because you are in campus, you've been trying to save as much as you can so that you can start investing, and the moment now you sort of think something will work out, you end up being conned. So one thing for sure, don't just invest because people are investing in it. If you want to start a business, go dig deeper into the business, learn what would be required of you, what's the income stream, how much per annum, how much per month, and all those things. So I would say that was from a point of ignorance. Then of course, being broke is always a challenge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I've just been looking for extra sources of income besides my paycheck. And yeah, so I think those two are the challenges I've been facing, but especially in campus where you only, in campus you sort of depend on your parents
Yeah.
allowances or any allowances that you can get, but yeah, being able to push myself and just to look for other sources of income. Yeah, those are the two challenges.
Awesome. You've been conducting, let me call them interviews with the Centonomy Career Hub. That's the handle you've been using, and you've been talking to like various people. I've listened to some of them, and the topics are really awesome. I think we have everything we need as Kenyans, and I think everybody who watches them, it's available, and the topics are really personal. They are really helpful, and I listened to the one for personal branding, and the essential things that people should learn. So out of all of the ones you've done, which was I can't say the best one, but which of them would you highlight? And maybe what was the topic you were discussing?
All right. I know you said one, but I'll just highlight two. The first one, the very
Okay.
first one I did was one of my major highlights, because that was a point of pushing myself past my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I'd like to highlight it because I also got to do it with my mentor. My mentor is Liz Ntonchira, and it was, you know how you have goosebumps. We were talking about how to get ahead in your career working remotely. So being that it was my first episode, my first interview, that was really, I had a lot of goosebumps. So I really highlight it because it's a celebration on my part. It was a bit of pushing myself past my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then the other one I would highlight is with William Decker, who is a PR and digital communications specialist. It was on how to build your career portfolio as a young professional. So I think this was my fourth interview, and being that, the first one you try out, the second one you sort of learn you sort of clarify and correct some mistakes from the first time.
Mhm.
The third one you sort of, you keep growing. Every episode you always highlight some mistakes or points of improvement. So say that one with William Decker, it's the one that I felt like, not that I've fully gotten the gist, but I thank God for the fact that I've seen improvement. You can even feel it when you do the interview. You can feel the improvement, you can feel the communication flow. There are few hitches. So yeah, I would really highlight that because it helped me identify and know that I've actually been growing in it. I'm still growing it. And every interview that I conduct, it's always a point of learning. I'm a student of life, in short. So yeah.
So, nice. It's true. I think there's a lot of material, not just a lot, but there is very essential material on financial growth that is online.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the prescriptions that you can give? Or I know you already under autonomy, you have some courses that people can take on financial growth, wealth creation, money making,
Yeah.
like a lot of those. So which ones would you prescribe for people to actually go forth and listen to?
All right, great. So that's a great question. First of all, just to do a little bit background of Centonomy for those who are listening, you've
Yeah.
been hearing these words Centonomy. So Centonomy is basically a financial literacy institution that is it's actually online. So what we do, we train people on various courses, and the first one is Centonomy 101, which trains people on how to manage personal finances. Yes, so through this program, we normally expose people to the time value of money, how to manage debt, how to live abundantly, how to invest in treasury bonds and bills and unit trusts, how to invest in property, in the stock market, insurance, estate planning, taxes, having a financial plan, all these investment options. Then
Yeah.
we have the Central Entrepreneur Program. It's a 14-week program. The one is a 12-week one. So the entrepreneurship, Centonomy Entrepreneur is a 14-week program that generally takes you through how to build a great business, building business dynasties. Yes, so in this, we generally just take you through how to structure your business, how to start a business, and how to do all those things that, you know, you need to grow and just build your career and attain financial and business success. Then we have the Centonomy Career Hub, and here we teach people about how to grow and advance in their career. So we talk about, and the Centonomy Career Hub is the one I'm the host for the Career Chat IG live sessions that happen every Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So here, Centonomy Career Hub is also a 7-week online program that equips you the skills on how to grow and advance in your career. So there's making boss moves. How do you position yourself to get the right job and to be identified? How do you brand yourself? How do you create social capital for yourself? How do you leverage on your skills? How do you, brand yourself? How can you be an effective communication and public speaker? And so many other things that we speak about, leadership and so on and so forth. So all these classes normally happen online. And by the way, you can check us out. It's www.centonomy.com, and you'll be able to see all the courses that I'm talking about and any other information that you'd want to know. So yeah, I would definitely encourage people to take up online classes. Right now, it's the new norm. People are now, the new world is in the digital space. Like, it's the new norm. People are working from home. There are so many things that are happening on the digital space. So really encourage everyone to take up these opportunities, especially for the avenues or courses that will expose and increase your knowledge of personal finance. So I'd recommend all those Centonomy courses because they'll be able to take you. You think you have goals, you think you have your life well figured, until you come to class and you realize, whoa, I wasn't even near anywhere. Sort of make you feel like you are joking about your life because now things are serious. So yeah, I would really recommend them.
Nice. Thank you so much for taking your time to really talk to us. As I said, if anybody is listening to this, they obviously will get a lot. And actually, as I said, we're thinking of maybe naming this Financial 101 because these are real stories, and these are growth stories of how people have really managed over the period and what people are doing to manage their finances. So thank you very much. I don't know if do you have any parting shot, or what are your final words to anybody listening?
All right, my parting shot is number 1, love yourself and go ahead and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. Position yourself for the right opportunities, and how you push yourself is by being identified, being noticed, and yeah, just love yourself, push yourself past your comfort zone, be identified, and you'll thank yourself for that. And you can also follow me, by the way, Charity Mbide on Twitter and Instagram, and Charity Mbide on Facebook. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll share all the links on our video. So everybody, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't listened to our episodes, you can actually do. We're on YouTube at Nimegrow Podcast. We're doing more content. We're giving out content every Friday, so it's different topics. It's all about growth and people saying Nimegrow. It can be Nimegrow in education, Nimegrow financially, Nimegrow in art. So listen to our episodes and actually subscribe to get live notifications. Find us on YouTube at Nimegrow, on Twitter at Nimegrow, like all social media platforms at Nimegrow Podcast. So thank you very much, Charity. Until the next time.